So today I titled this video, Some People Can Be Meany Butts. And it's pretty much a nice way to put it out without not saying a bad word or saying the A word or anything like that. So I try not to say bad words. So meany butt is my way to say that somebody can be really mean and hurtful. Yesterday I made a post about my childhood, like how from me growing up I got picked on and bullied at school a lot, and now I am a successful businesswoman who I focus on helping other women to feel good in their own body, but not only that, but overcome whatever mental thoughts, negative thoughts they have of their own self. But this video, I kept thinking so much about it, and I didn't know how exactly to word it, title, or even talk about it live, but I felt so strong urge that I needed to come alive and talk to you guys today. I was tussling in bed so much, and I was like, you know what guys, I'm just gonna do it. I'm just gonna jump alive and give me my 2 cents into the topic today and just go into a little bit more into that. So I got Clyde with me here today. I got Penny jumping around. So if you see fur babies' tails running around the camera and stuff, it's just typical day in the office. I got 2 fur babies, so they're just a little bit crazy today. So one of the biggest things is that a lot of people tend to look up to me and they message me and they're like, Maria, you're so inspirational. I love all your posts. People have reached out to me and they're like, oh my goodness, I have felt just like you. But one of the biggest things that hit me hard was a 13-year-old little girl reaching out to me on Facebook. A lot of times I work with older women, but I had a 13-year-old little girl reaching out to me and telling me thank you for what you post. And I started talking to her a little bit more because I was like messaging her back and I'm like, you're so welcome. I love to be able to inspire people. What about the post inspired you so much? What are you thankful about? And she told me that she is new to this town, that her mom is from Mexico and they moved over here. So she's having a really hard time adjusting to the school system over here. But not only that, but learning a new language. And for me, it hit me really hardcore because that was me. That was me. My mom moved from Puerto Rico to United States. And when I first got here to United States, I didn't know English. I barely knew how to raise my hands up and tell them, hey, where's the bathroom? Because me going to the bathroom was like my safe zone in school. It was a place for me to escape away from the school, feeling overwhelmed in class because the professor only talking in English. So you feel a little bit overwhelmed already by being in class. Not only that, but you don't know where the classes are at. You cannot ask questions. You're having to get creative and point out and be like, class, because you don't know where the class is at. So hopefully somebody will be kind enough to show you where you need to be at. And it can be really, really scary. And I feel like this comes from parents. If a parent, and this is why I made this live video, if you teach your kids to be kind to other kids at school, life can be so much better because those kids are going to pay it forward and help other people in the future. But if you're the type of parent who is pretty much selfish and only focusing on yourself and nobody else, and you're not taking ownership from your own mistakes, your kids are going to look up to you. Your kids, whatever you are doing, your kids is going to do the same thing. So if you want your kid not to be picked on at school or anything, start with them. Start changing things right now what you're doing so that your kid can look up to you and be like, you know what, my mom or my dad is most kind. They barely have much, but they will help and go the extra mile to help anybody out there. And that's the child that you want to be able to raise, and for them to go out there and change lives and impact as many lives as possible. But not only that, but help that child who is lost. But not only that, but don't talk like if you're at home and you're talking about other people coming to to United States and, oh, they're taking our jobs away and they're just so negative. Well, guess what? When that child is in classroom, that was me. I'm from Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico is part of the United States. I'm American. But guess what? My native language is Spanish. That's why a lot of times my grammar is not perfect on my social media. And a lot of people get to me, they're like, Maria, you misspell, your grammar is just awful. And I'm like, I'm so sorry. I'm trying my best. I'm always trying to learn to be better. I read lots of books to try to help my grammar, but I'm not perfect. Those kids, you don't know where they're from. They can be from Mexico, they can be from Puerto Rico, Colombia. There's so many other countries out there. You have no idea where they're from. So don't start picking at that poor child in classroom because they speak Spanish or a different language that is not yours. United States is a place that is known to have so many different languages. There's no place you can walk into them. Like right now, at the apartment complex that I live, I got a neighbor who speaks Russian. And it's freaking amazing. I love it. I love listening to her and her kids talk. I'm like, oh my goodness. Their accent is just so beautiful. I just love it. My first language is Spanish. Half of the time I'm talking to my fur babies in Spanish and people are like, is that white girl talking in Spanish? Yeah, that white girl is talking in Spanish because guess what? This white girl is not a typical white girl. This girl is Puerto Rican. So yes, my first language is Spanish. Yes, I'm part of the United States. But guess what? When I was in school, people used to call me Mexican. People used to throw me paper balls on the school bus telling me that I needed to go back to my country. People used to be mean and rude. And guess what? I took that as a fire inside of me to learn the language. I took that fire inside of me to educate other people to know that Puerto Rico was part of the United States. I took that little fire inside of me, that bulliness and everybody telling all these mean things to me, to actually turn into something positive. And I hate to see that so much time has gone by and things still have not changed. People still being like-minded and being meany butts to other kids at school because they're not from where you're from. They're not from the country and they don't say y'all and yonder and all this other stuff. Be nice. Just because somebody's from a different place, you can learn so much from them. The place is not like, I live in the country and I see this so much and it honestly makes me angry. And I don't know how to put it out there as best as possible, but just gotta be nice. And it starts with you, because whatever you're doing, when I see those kids at school who were mean to me, I know it was not because of them. It was because of the parents. That's what they were taught. That's what they learned from their own parents. So that's what they're saying, even though they have no idea about anything. Just because somebody speaks Spanish does not mean they're from Mexico. That does not mean they're illegal in here. That can just be their native language. And they're feeling proud to speak it because it's our culture. I'm not, just because my boyfriend, he's American. Just because he's American does not mean I am gonna reject my native culture that is Puerto Rican. I'm still gonna eat my food. I'm still gonna do my little things that I do as a Puerto Rican. Like I cook my food, I speak Spanish, I watch my Spanish soap operas, and he'll come in and be like, oh my goodness, what are you watching? He'll ask me questions about it. I'm still gonna be listening to my Spanish music at my home. And guess what? He embraced it. He's like, oh babe, what is that song? I don't know what they're saying, but I like the rhythm. And he'll start dancing all white boatish. And he's so cute. I'm like, oh my goodness, I just love him. He's just awesome. But embrace it. Just because somebody's different, don't be mean and rude to them. And just don't assume just because they speak Spanish, they're from another country like Mexico or anything like that. Because many people are from Puerto Rico, and Puerto Rico is part of the United States. So a lot of times people were mean to me back at school, and I'm exactly where you're from. It's just I speak a different language, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I got bullied so badly to the point that I used to come home crying every single day, not wanting to go to school. I used to be the kid who sat at the way back of the bus, holding my little baby sister because she was crying because other kids were being mean. And she was only in kindergarten. And it broke my heart because I had to tell her, they just don't know. Don't worry, they just don't know. But don't worry, I'm gonna learn the language and I'm gonna teach them. I'm gonna teach them that it's okay to speak Spanish. It's okay to be different. It's okay to be unique and be your own self. And now I'm a businesswoman. And one of my biggest fear when I first started this business was, oh my goodness, all those little fears from being a young girl started popping up. They were like, okay, I'm gonna get picked on because of my accent. My grammar is not perfect, so whenever I make a post on social media, people are gonna say mean things to me. And yes, I do get it. People say mean to me about my grammar all the time. They're like, oh, you probably should check your boyfriend to check your grammar before you start posting on social media. And I tell them, thank you. I'm always trying to embrace and learn to like spell my grammar better and stuff. So if you have any suggestions, do let me know if I do a mistake so I like that I can fix it. But I'm not gonna have Devin look over all my posts on social media. You know why? Because it's not me, and I wanna be real. I wanna be unique, authentic me. I'm not gonna lie on social media and have everything perfect, every grammar, every punctuation, every comma, everything to be perfect on social media. Because whenever those people join my team or join my wellness group, I am gonna be commenting and private messaging them to empower them and hold them accountable every single day. And guess what? There is gonna be mistakes. So if I'm lying to people saying that my English is perfect, it's gonna drive them crazy. It's gonna crawl under their skin and be like, oh my goodness, grammar Nazi starting to come out. That's why I do the mistakes that I do. I'm being myself. I'm being me. Because I want to attract people that are just like me, and they get me. They know my hard work. They're proud of me. And guess what? I'm inspiring other women out there, young little girls, 13-year-old, to not to be afraid to make mistakes. Not to be afraid to say something in a new language. I'm telling them not to be afraid to write a paper or to get in social media and express themselves just because that is not their native language. They're not fluent in English. That is not a limitation for you to go out there and stand for what you believe. So I want you to really think about what you're saying to your kids and what you're doing around you to teach your kids that it's something beautiful. And whenever they see somebody who's trying to speak a new language, to empower them and be like, girl, you're doing so much better. Like, give them high five, empower them, help them, and be like, you're doing awesome. Don't make fun of people trying to speak a new language. Don't bring other people down because they wrote something wrong or incorrect, or instead of saying the house is white, they say house white. Don't make fun of people like that. Because that little girl was me. And whenever she messaged me and told me what she's going through school, it really went a core with me, and it really brought me back to where I used to be at. And I told her not to be afraid to stand for what she believes, even if she does mistakes, even if it's not perfect, to just try it. Because at the end of the day, you don't lose anything by trying. And I don't want her to be afraid to speak a new language because of fear of not being perfect. Because at the end of the day, none of us are perfect. None of us are. But we can try to be better than we were the day before. And we can try to do better the minute, the hour, the second. You have the power to change. You don't have to be stuck to old sayings, old beliefs, old culture, because we are a new generation and we have the power to impact and change as many lives as possible and empower young girls to not to be afraid, or even men, young guys, not to be afraid of a new country and new language. All right, so I am going to end this call. I know I talked a lot today, but I really hope that you understand where I'm coming from. And I'm not trying to bring any cultures or any beliefs down or make anybody mad or angry, but be kind, because at the end of the day, we're all humans. We all bleed. We all are just the same. Just because somebody speaks or looks or acts a different way does not make them any different than we are. We are all the same. So it's time to start spreading some joy and teach our young kids, the newer generation, that's beautiful. It's beautiful to be different. It's beautiful to be unique, and it's beautiful to be yourself. So I love you guys, and I'll see you next time. Mwah. Bye.